Alright, get yourself comfy, get yourself a cup of tea, coffee, glass of water, stay hydrated, it's important. And today we're going to be talking about YELLOWFACE. There has been so many talks about YELLOWFACE, and I have been avoiding all of them because I don't want to be influenced by what people say when I give my own review, but I know that it's very controversial. People don't like it or really love it. There's no in between, so I think I will be the in-between person here. So for those who don't know, YELLOWFACE is a book written by R.F. Kuang, who is an Asian author, and she wrote this book before writing all of her other bestsellers, so like Babel, The Poppy War. She just released Catabasis, I think, and like she is raved, like she is deeply loved by the book community. But her first book, a lot of people didn't like it. So this story, we have a lot of mixed feelings. We have a very unlikable main character, which I think is the problem with a lot of people with this book, and it is a very difficult book to rate. I actually didn't give any stars to this book when I first read it, and I still haven't given it like a number out of 5 stars. I still don't know how to rate this book, and I'm gonna talk about why. So for those who don't know what this book is about, this is about June Hayward and Athena Liu. They are both writers, and they want to become great authors. June Hayward is having a difficult time to have her books published. She has a difficult time to get out there, let's say it like that. And Athena is like a bestseller author. Like, she is beloved by a lot of people and her stories are really loved. She's getting more and more famous as the time goes. One of the main things we know from the start is that June believes that Athena is really popular right now because she's Asian, and because people like diversity and people like to have like an underdog kind of character or like persona. So she believes that the only reason her manuscripts aren't being picked up is because she's white and American, I guess. In the very beginning of the book, Athena dies in front of June in a very tragic way, and that's not really a spoiler, it's just like literally the beginning of the book. And after all that chaos, June actually steals Athena's manuscript, so the one she was writing about to be released, so it has not been released yet. And the manuscript was about the Chinese laborers during World War I. Afterwards, June edits the novel and makes it pass as her own novel. That's the sort of the problems, I would say. And she even lets her editor rebrand her as Juniper Song, which Song is actually her middle name. So it's not like a created name, but it's still like it's a rebrand. While she is unraveling all of this, the truth is bound to come out at some point, and June is willing to do whatever it takes to keep the fame. So June is, I think, the most despicable character I have ever read. I say that, but I say it like the most despicable character I have ever read about and been inside her mind, because there are a lot of despicable characters, but you just don't know what they're thinking all of the time, and you kind of hope that they're not as bad somehow. And so for her, it was not a option because we knew exactly what she was thinking, and she was thinking not so good things, and so it was really hard to understand her POV and to understand where she comes from because of how horrible she perceives everything. All of her motives are all in the wrong places, so you don't really want to root for her during the story because she's just awful. Even before Athena passes away, there's like a small portion in the beginning of the book where June just complains about literally everything in her life, and she sees no fun thing that happens in her life, even though there are a lot of things that are happening that are great. She is also very closed-minded as a person, not necessarily in a racist way, just she's closed-minded, period. So I'm not gonna spoil anything about the ending, because there may be people who still haven't read the book because of all the because of all the controversial opinions online. Like, it's really hard to make up your mind if you want to read this book or not, because so many people say it's a bad book, so many people say it's a good book. So what can you think, like, at that point? So the huge question that I think people want to answer is this book a bad book? And I would say no. It is not a bad book because you hate the main character. I don't think that qualifies as being a bad book. It's a bad main character, but it doesn't mean that the whole book is a bad book, because the plot is actually really interesting. You get to have a lot of insight into the publishing industry, and I don't think that any of it was far-fetched, because I think that R.F. Kuang actually kind of got inspired by real life events to do this book. There is one point in the book where we actually do talk a little bit about race, and it was a very interesting dialogue that happened. I think it was something that was actually a good thing, but the fact that it was given by June's POV made it really seem like she was just a white person complaining that she doesn't have enough privilege to be seen and to have her chance to publish her own book. So if we had another character, like a side character, that would enter in the story to balance everything, maybe it would have been better, because everybody just hates June, and like when you read her, you hate her so much that even if she says something that makes sense, you don't really want to listen to her and to actually listen to what she has to say, because what she has to say, it actually makes sense, but since it's her that's telling it, everybody thinks it's bullshit. I think what we can take from this book is the publishing industry and how it capitalizes on trends and certain things that people like, and when they see something that people like, they just kind of replicate it over and over, even if it's wrong, even if it doesn't make any sense. Like all the Asian books that are coming out lately, like in the past few years, I have seen so many Asian books, and like I'm actually really happy about it, because I haven't seen a lot of Asian authors. So it's really nice to read their stories, but at the same time, it's kind of like they're getting pushed down your throat because they're all everywhere. And right now, like as I'm recording this, the thing that people want to push down your throat is the sport, romance, contemporary, steamy, dark novels. And like, I'm not even against that. I actually like it. I've read Icebreaker and I really loved it, and I've been meaning to read about other like sporty romance books. But the fact that like now every week 10 books are being published about literally the same thing is so annoying, because it's so much consumerism, and at that point you get so many of the same stories that they don't feel real anymore. Like they all feel like the same characters recycled in another sport, which is something that I'm sure as a reader you don't want, because you want originality, you want creativity. Of course tropes come back and certain type of characters come back, but if you have the same story over and over again, like I don't think I would want to read any of that. And so it's a really gray area. I don't think anybody really thinks about it, and the unfortunate thing is that in the publishing industry it actually works. Like if they follow the trends, people are gonna buy these books, and so there's nothing that actually tells them that people don't want this and actually would prefer to have originality and like not being pushed any type of race or any type of content in any way. They would just like to see everything available if it's actually good. but that's another story for another time. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Tell me what are your opinions. If you have read YELLOWFACE, tell me in the comments what you thought about this book. What is your rating? Because I still don't have my own rating. I think I would put this book at like a 3.5, maybe 3, just because the story was really actually interesting. It's just the POV wasn't sufferable, so it's like, it's complicated. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.